nice, suave track. I like how, a thing that I want to point out before we even get going. Note how there's no, okay, every other chapter, right? Well, I don't know if every chapter, because I don't exactly keep track of everything. But in the last chapter, it started off with a couple of days, and then the POV designation. The chapter before that, it usually starts with like, this is the person who it is, and sometimes with a little timer thing. It's the inconsistency that gets me, because chapter 2 has like an actual date, then it's a couple days later, and then the next morning. It's really weird. Like, I know that the first chapter didn't do that, but at that point we didn't have any reason to assume anything. But they kind of ditched some of the things, and now they ditched the POV. Like, I think it's supposed to be Anon, that makes the most sense, but it's a little weird to jump back and forth on that in such a fashion. Ugh, ain't it? Let's go. Man, I'm jabbing for a minute already about like consistency. It's been a few days since the after-school practice with Verm drama. Things have been better between Anna and me for the most part. At least, I think. I'm thinking about that M dash. I'm so used to seeing M dashes being used for like intermissions, for like interruptions, instead of like end segments, like postfixes. Or suffixes, I think that also suffices. I say better, but it's still awkward as fuck sometimes. You didn't fix anything, Anon. That's why it feels awkward. The moment either of us mentions anything related to track, it's back to the uncomfortable feeling. Basically happens every 10 minutes, so anytime we hang ends up being some weird cycle. It's almost like the only thing you do with your life, Anon, is track, and that's screw. I'm just saying, Anon, you might want to like talk about this. It sounds like it's ruining your life. I'm miffed about what happened, but I gotten over it, I think. I appreciate the constant use of I think, because Anon definitely disagrees with himself. Like, you don't say I think this often if it's true, right? I feel like once you're old enough, you realize that when people say I think, they usually mean no. Hell, we rarely see each other as often. It's almost like she has a different club than I do. Usually only happens around mornings, lunchtime. I feel like you could have exacerbated this problem if you just had her not show up during lunchtime because she's not invited. But I guess if we're going to have her smooch read, that's kind of difficult to do. Depending on whether or not I'm meeting with Fang and the friends again, or if we're going home together. I mean, we stick around after school anyway for our obligation. But might as well go home together. Either way, it's a textbook's definition of awkward as fuck. Then again, track practice isn't every day, and neither is the gardening club for Aina. Either way, I don't like then again and either way, and they're so close to each other. There's something about these particular... I don't know what to call them. Also, you always used either way. Maybe that's the one that's actually bothering me. Like, I understand why people use these. It's because they feel like you're having an organic conversation. It's more like mental interruptions. But you need to remember, this text, right, is not actual Anon's thoughts. You need to remember that POVs are rarely ever concretely a person in the moment. It is always with the degree of, like, hindsight. Because otherwise, people don't think like this. People don't think like this. Nobody thinks like this. My head is empty when I talk most of the time because I'm busy talking. Like, when I think, I stop, I take a moment. I can think while I talk. That's not the problem. It's just that my head contains nothing. The thoughts are all very much in the activity phase, shall we say. And as a result, any actual POV can't be just someone's thoughts. So you always have that benefit of, like, you can just ignore this. You can just get rid of it. Like, ultimately, you want your writing to be good writing over being realistic, because realism is fucking lame. Also, you're writing about dinosaur people. You're allowed to leave some things. Although, admittedly, I think anyone who wants to write actual realistic stuff has to contend with, like, this is how people think they think, right? This is how people think they think. Dang. Also, apparently everyone thinks differently because some people can't imagine apples. Or anything. It's empty. Or contains no color. That's weird. Either I don't have practice, I can't exactly deny it's fun sticking around at the school with Fang, Trish, and Reed. Why do they stick around? What are they sticking around for? I never really got the impression they used the school exclusively for practice. I always felt like they went somewhere else. Because I always felt like the auditorium thing was like a necessity, because they had to be around during lunch. Which is weird. Around here, where I live, it's fairly common for, like, just to leave school premises during lunch to go somewhere else for a snack. I think. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe it's changed. It's kind of relaxing hanging out with them. Sort of reprieve from the strenuous exercise of track. Yet I think the biggest surprise is that I can tolerate that lady. Even more so the fact that she tolerates me. I listen, I get that Anon uses the term a lot, but you want to ease off the gas. I feel like it's a term Anon uses because he's mad and a little jerk. It's not as casual parlance. Unless he's going to Truden and just turns it to a a jackass as a result. It's like Mom says, not everyone knows how to get you. Maybe she knows I'll dish back what she throws at me. It also feels really weird that Anon's extremely casual with the slurs, considering that his sister is against that. Like, his sister tells him not to use slurs. How did he grow up and build this repertoire? Like, there's this weird implication that Anon and Ana are, like, close together for most of the years, and then at other times, it's like he has that entire isolated 4chan experience where no one told him to shut up. It's really weird how it's both. Like, I get that, you know, you can grow up in one space and then in reality mask and everything. But it seems like with Aina, he's not masking, and he takes her word as important. So it feels weird that he would just tell her to go fuck herself on this front. I think what happened with Aina really made me think about my parents more. Well, more so of Mom, not so much of Dad. Because my dad is only ever the bad guy. It kind of felt a bit more tense when I brought him up. Mostly because it felt like he always preferred talking with Anna more so. Because the dad likes the daughter, and the mom likes the son. Mom was genuinely surprised when I called her, because Zane and I typically called them together. It was nice to hear her voice. Dad did his usual grunting, sparing a few words. Sparing a few words, at least, when he was prodded by the hand of God. Which is... listen. Could you not do this? Like, I get it. I get that it's your mom. Or it's even funnier than that. It's just like something fell on his head. Leave it to the imagination. Mixing his home just a little. Stupid dumbass like myself getting doxxed and moved out here. God, I hate feeling like this. At least the day is almost over, and I can hang out with the worm drama crew again. I have a question. Does Anon have a separate room at home? Because these guys are kind of poor. It's implied that they're always, like, financially not in the best position. Why do they have separate rooms? Isn't that like a twin thing? I don't know, man. Now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen any twins either. Maybe they're just on television. Maybe they're not real. I didn't eat with them at lunch today and opted to stay with Anna instead. It was weirdly chill. Really talk about anything. I like how you can't even talk about the gardening club. Why can't she talk about what she's doing if what you're doing is a problem? Only they're chatting about all the stuff we don't see around each other. Stella and Rosa seem to be doing what they usually do, gardening and anime. I like how you say this, but like, I get the feeling you haven't talked to either of them in any meaningful capacity. At least I got to claim the chat highlight by talking about us attract members. Okay, cool. I get it. This feels weird. There's something about this that feels like it's not quite what Anon would do. How to explain this? I don't know how to explain this. There's something about this that feels like... it's slightly weird for Anon to talk about television like this. Like, he talks about anime and the like, but I don't see this. It feels... it feels adjacent. Huh. I thought relationship bullshit was limited to cheerleaders and normies. Well, either that's you, Anon. You're a jock. Well, the jock is just as fat about shit as everything else. Interesting thing for a guy who literally is a jock and won the silver medal. I'm just saying, Anon. The man in the mirror. Also, it's fucking hilarious because this is an ironic joke. Because Anon is literally doing this. As I push open the doors to the auditorium, I notice the lack of Red Raptor and Purple Menace setting up on stage. Well, curiously, a certain Envy Terror was slumping back like I usually find them. Maybe there wasn't practice crap. Did I miss a memo or something? I feel like Anon would say text. Memo feels so much like you're not quite integrated into the text economy. Maybe I should... Sub Ember Eyes. I have to say, everyone keeps using the term Ember Eyes. It's like, I get it if it's just Anon, but fucking Anna has used it, and it makes for a really weird context. It's like the author just has one word. Like, why can't it just be her eyes? I'm gonna bring this up every single time so that you understand how often this gets used. Forcing a manly squeak out of me as I jump into the up section of the auditorium. Fang is sitting in the seating closet. The seating close? Oh, the seating closest. Sitting closest to the door, presumably on their phone, and sans guitar. So, you see her eyes, but you have no idea if she has her phone or guitar? Well, the fuck, what the hell did she come from? I like how we get the statement after you've already described that Fang is physically present. It's a little off. Like, start off with the holy fuck, where'd she come from, and then you're like, oh. Actually, the way I would do this is I would do this, and then I have Amber Eye stop me dead in my track. Holy fuck, where the hell did she come from? And then it's like, she forced a manly squeak for me as I jump into the other section of the auditorium. Feels a bit more flow. Feels a bit more like you're trying to tell a joke. You know, that pacing, that structure. What are you doing here? She shrugs and looks back at her phone. I like how you say presumably on their phone, and we just confirm it. Waiting for the all clear from Trish and Reed to go have a smoke out back of the school, you know? I know that Reed smokes, but does Trish ever smoke in the game? I don't know. Also, it is kind of funny that you smoke, considering the voice stuff. I do like that a Goodbye Volcano High specifically points it out. Like, no, man, my voice is my treasure. As snobby as it sounds. The irony is, actually, is weed better or worse for your throat when it comes to smoking than nicotine? I don't know. Might be embarrassing to say I forgot they didn't have practice today. Instead, they were having smoking practice. The monochrome terror snorts and slightly smirks. You still get perfect attendance, dweeb. Nice scream, by the way. Totally should have you a background check for a chick. God damn it! I can't believe Anon got turned into a Wilhelm scream. What a poor guy. This chapter is massive. Dude, how fucking big is this chapter? I think I'm gonna copy paste and see what comes out of it. Actually, I already have it copy pasted right over here. How many words does my editing software say that it supposedly has? 15. Okay, so some of the chapters are just buttfuck long. I mean, it probably is double counting paragraphs and stuff. I don't know how it exactly counts this, but even with a ballpark estimate of 15,000, that's still like 60. This is still a lot. Still more than average. Great. Again, 5,000 words is enough for a fucking chapter. You don't need twice or thrice as many, man. Fucking cut it up. Make it little bite-sized pieces. Would it kill these people to have more chapters that are nice and short and easy to read? It's so weird. I don't get it. It's like, why do you write like this? Like, you obviously have breakpoints you could turn into separate chapters, but they just don't. And I don't get it. God, what am I thinking? Oh, wait. Allow text notification from a phone catches her attention and stops me from verbally defending how much of a deep manly voice I have. She looks down for a moment before looking back at me. I don't like this. I don't like this fucking... Like, what you're describing can be described as a single action, right? Like, you don't want to describe the action. You want to describe you don't want to describe the movement. You want to describe the action, right? She checks her phone, then looks at me. It's way better. It's A, shorter, and B, it's like everything you need to know. Again, there's too much timing and like stage directions going on here. Cool, it's clear. Want to have a smoke with us? How the fuck can you get outside during lunch break and not get spotted? Like, how many people are in the school? You have the clear back area. Like, surely you have it behind the shed somewhere. They jump down from their position, alighting with a plop. And motioning to the side exit. I don't know if you can describe anything about Fang as being ploppy and alighting. Man, it's really like this guy has a word of the day calendar and can't stop himself. Well, smoking certainly would tank my track performance. Technically speaking, man, it's implied that Anon already smoked before Snoot game started. But I guess with Anon around it'd be a bit harder, but still. God, what am I thinking? There's a good chance that the rest of the dudes on the team drink, smoke, and fuck around with all that stuff that might actually outright kill me. Not so much, but the other schmucks on my level would. Up to Jesus, all this to justify smoking a cig and try to look cool. Sure, I could use a stiff one. I know, trying to not seem like a complete loser, which I'm not 100%. Again, in the original Snoot game, he definitely smokes. Because he's perfectly okay with his first drag. And he even knows what a menthol is. I need to keep my lips shut. Don't let anything like that leak out. If that gives me a confused look. A stiff one? Dude, you're not giving Reed a blowjob. What are you talking about? Mercifully, they seem to shake their head and gesture for me to follow. Sometimes, my genius, it generates gravity. What does that even mean? I mean, I guess the point is that it's dense, but... Fang leads me to the back of the gym, where all the good angsty teenagers congregate to commiserate about their awful lives. Which, predictably, it's just us two and the other missing members of the Vermdormer crew. I mean, everyone else is like at the cool spots, behind the shed. That's where Reed does his deals before he shows up here. Both stood by the shadowed wall looking into nothing while waiting for us, or more accurately, Fang. I was just along for the ride at this rate. Reed, unsurprisingly, was lax as ever as he stared up at the sky above. One foot rested over the other. Both heads behind his wet slides wood. Oh my god. Why are we describing Reed? Like, I get what we're going for, but, yeah, it's fine, I guess. If I get the first to break the silence, it's happy to. Not much at all. Reed nods with his eyes closed, enjoying whatever the hell is going on in his head. But he did finally deign to look at us. His red-rimmed orbs widened slightly when I came into view. Oh, dang, nice to see you, Anon. How's it going, homie? You know, ditching school lunch to hang out in the shadows like you are. When do we put on the black makeup and start worshipping human Satan? Dude, everyone knows Satan is a fish. The comment rewards me with a snicker from Reed, a disgusted look from Trish. Why would Trish be like that? I mean, I guess you would be annoyed about the comment about the makeup. I have good makeup, thank you. And an elbow in the ribs from Fang, which is ironic since she's the one who... No, actually, Fang doesn't really wear all that much dark makeup. Fang's actual makeup portfolio is very colorful, things considered. I hiss for the sharp pain. Fucking elbow feathers. Elbow feathers... I mean, I say that, but I know that feathers have, like, a sharp spine, so technically you could stab someone with it. God, that actually... Ugh. Before looking back at them with a grimace. Also, really weird that we have double dashes instead of the M dash you used before. It's like you clearly know what the diacritic here is, but the punctuation mark here is. Flat eyes look me up and down with a little amusement. Don't be a complete idiot. Why didn't you italicize this? That's obviously a stressed syllable. Stressed word. Fair, but shit. Let me have something so I can at least go to practice after school today. You don't need ribs to throw a spear. Well, actually, you do. Well, you don't need a voice to. I need to say stuff like that, and I'll reel it back, reel it back. Well, clearly you haven't seen the track team. I smirk as I continue my little enlightening of the track from hell. A brief flash of relief hits me as I see Fang shoot me another unamused look. Better than having Trish blow up in my face. Fang dramatically acquiesce and bow my head. Fine, fine. Got that sick ready for me? They snort before walking into the shadows with the others, flicking their own cancer stick to life before mine. Quite patiently, noting that Trish seems to slide slightly further away from the smoke trail. I can hand in my spare, she creates even more distance. Good to know. If I could keep up a continual cloud of smoke, she will never bother me again. Wait, was she smoking? That's the only one you're not smoking anything. It's a funny thing to say, considering that you were, like, about smoking a minute earlier. So, dude, you getting by on the track team? About as fine as I can, I mutter around my oral fixation, as a huff of breath as that powerful, disgusting, familiar rush of nicotine fills my lungs. Why would Anon ever describe it as disgusting? Anon usually derides himself, not the things that he partakes in. No, he often calls us anime. He would probably call us anime degenerate like everyone else does. I let it sit in the back of my throat for a bit before letting it flow free. Don't let things twice. Track is fine, school seems okay, occasionally I have to help out Fang out like you do with math and math class. Well, not all the time. Don't go blowing things out of proportion. Clearly all that work we do together means nothing. It's worth remembering that Anon and Fang have a two-way relationship on this since Fang helps him with music class, so it really isn't that simple. It's also supposed to be representative of the fact that they can help each other. Then we're getting a big head, Baldy. Trisha's growl seems pleasant from so far away. When I look at her purple scales turn up in disgust before looking away. It's so weird how you describe scales like this. They're not... You're not thinking of scales, buddy. I think you're thinking of scoots. Am I thinking of scoots? Is a bony external plate or scale overlaid with horn? I can imagine scoots moving, but not scales. A pinecone fish? Damn. Give me that fat. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, no, with fish it's like that. The scales of a lemon shark. But yeah, with most scales, I'm pretty sure it's just like big skin cells. Bird scales are funny, though. Man, those are yellow as hell. The reptiles portal. I need to show this picture to Como, though. He loves this shit. He loves sassy lizards. This is eyes drawn so sassy. What was that? Sorry, you have to speak up. You're all the way down there, and I'm up here. She gives me the single finger salute in return. It's supposed to be a one finger salute. Because the three finger salute belongs to the Boy Scouts and everything, and the two finger salute is also a gesture you can make. So the one finger salute, you're supposed to. It's like single. There's something about it, man. It's again like this man using the word fucking mollified. Like he's a fancy essayist who just learned the word. Fang grunts in bemusement. Why not amusement? Why does she have to be bemused? Actually, I don't even know what the fucking difference is between those two. Hold up. Okay, give me the fucking Wiktionary. I don't need your fucking bullshit. Bemused. Deeply thoughtful or preoccupied, perplexed, or bewildered. This has nothing to do with amusement. Fang grunts in bemusement, which is, I think, wrong, because I think it's supposed to be that she's amused. Because, again, I don't think this author actually knows English. It's a guy with a thesaurus. No, a thesaurus would tell him that bemusement isn't even the right word. I thought it was the right word, so I can't exactly blame him, but... While I chuckle slightly, content with this little moment. You know, bemused just feels like one of those things where it's like, I don't know how to put it. False neighbors, or whatever it's called. Maybe we all need to come at him more often, if it means having her on the back foot. Kill her. So what about your sister, you think? She's settling in well? Why are you asking me? Okay, well, to ask me, not her directly. I know you two have a class read. Guess. Things seem fine, at least. And hasn't said much of lately as to what's going on, except about the gardening club. Why in the gardening club? Oh, what's going on in the gardening club? Right. She's in there with Rosa still doing this campus beautification on the weekend? And then we have this weird space. A few times. I think back, counting at least 2 instances where I woke up in the apartment after she was gone. That was only because some numbnuts in the laundromats below was being an asshole. Should be another one coming up this weekend. Cool. Gotta keep busy. Why did they consent to beautification in the first place? I forgot what the actual spur was there. Read meanders and thought a bit, letting conversation drop. Honestly, it's hard to read him sometimes. Rain wrapped to here, it was about as easy to understand as quadratic equations. Like what he had to teach me in class last week. I don't think he ever taught anyone anything. It's really weird how between this and Living Memories, Reed teaches people instead of just giving them the answers, which I always felt like that was the thing he did. Oh my god, what the hell is this? That took way too much dang time. I forgot where I was at. Where was it? Cool, gotta keep busy. Fucking hit those things. Oh god, can we literally talk about anything more important? Trish sizes me up from the distance between her and the group. I thought she was like on the other side of the group, not that she was like all the way over there. Clearly disgruntled at her isolation. Why is she even here then? Can you do something else with your life? Practice the bass maybe? Write a song? Thank Reed, we have so much stuff to do before our next show. There's practice, another venue, and merch to consider. Reed does not respond. Still reflecting. I mean, he's fucking spacing. But Fang has a deep frown etched on her face. You don't etch someone in someone's face. Again, it's a superficial element, so things go on faces, not in faces. At what Trish said. A cigarette and a mouse still seem to emphasize the disquiet. As Trish continued to yap on about other band stuff, I only think she was really spending time thinking. Hold on. Trish continued to yap about the other band stuff that I think only she was really spending time thinking about. So I guess Fang doesn't care much about the band at all then. When are you gonna be doing all that then? My question halts the track in place. Amethyst eyes, and stop hitting on everyone, widening at the audacity of me of daring to interrupt. Why can't it be harsh eyes? Why do we have to describe the colors? Why can't we describe like the glare that comes with it? Authoritarian eyes. Don't you think that finding a venue is probably the most important thing first? Trish instantly snapsy. Do you know anything about running a band? I blinked at her, and she just points a finger. Thought not, dumbass. You don't have a clue what it takes to To get things taken care of, just for one show? Oh, for fuck's sake, Trish, we're out of the smoke and chill. Do we have to do this right now? Trish, I'm not addicted to drugs so I can freak out. Also, you got all those weird spaces here. How long is this scene gonna go? Apparently it's gonna fuck... Oh, no, we're almost there. Fang! Your instant tonal switch... shift. As we do a double take as the purple headache. There we go, so nice colorful language. Switches to her best friend. We have to do this! Without being able to go over every detail. How are we supposed to put out a show that people will be dying to watch? With an noncommittal grunt from the tarot. There's a noncommittal grunt from the tarot. Seems unwilling to argue back. The smoked raptor. I don't think he's smoked. I think he's fucking zonked out. Zooted, I've heard. With a concentrated look. Seemingly conflicted. But he isn't really conflicted. And he will not interfere in this one, so he is conflicted. Not seemingly. As I've come to learn from watching similar tracks. Like, here's the problem, right? Seemingly works if you're going with a third-person perspective, because the third person can be uncertain and primarily operates on the looks of things, unless you want to give someone's thoughts directly. And to an extent, sometimes because things are obvious and you shouldn't overly complicate them. But Anon is making a judgment call. He does not think it's seemingly. He thinks it's conflicted, because that's what he looks like. Like, from his perspective, there is no seeming to be had. It is what it is. It's a weird nuance, and I get very caught up on it, sorry. I should stay quiet. But nah, fuck it. Staying quiet is for weak men and communists. You say that, but I'm pretty sure the communists were very loud about things. Where the capitalists who were mostly quiet and spent their money on propaganda. Depends on if you consider the USSR communist, though. Which can be highly debated considering the very oligarchical structure they had. Which belies the nature of communism. You know, can you do it? You know, you guys can do this in your practice. Everyone needs a break every once in a while. I mean, we also have school and homework. Like, dude, this whole thing is like a whole extra class. Purple splotches decorate purple... What the fuck are you doing? Stop hitting on Trish. As Trish turns her anger back up to 100% at me. Will you just stay out of this? You get to hang with us and listen to us, but we not get to tell us what to do. This is a scaled dick. Do you have to be so bitchy about it? Eat my ass, monkey. I don't eat porch lizard. Why is it porch lizard? What is it about porches that I'm missing? Is there like a colored slang in there that I don't know about? Oh my god! Will the both of you just shut the fuck up? I'm trying to smoke! All this wind is making my cigarette go down faster! All this hot air! We wither under the reprimand, but a new voice cuts across the distance that holds us in place. Hey, who the hell back there? Oh shit, that's called Dusky.